Okay, good morning. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's Sunday morning, so excuse us if we don't look quite so fresh-faced today after the party last night, but we're back on the Tri 24/7 sofa, and we're here with Salika, and I'm not going to try and pronounce her surname, but Salika and Richard from Spartan Events Worldwide. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm great. You two weren't at the party last night, were you? Far too fresh.
No, not at all.
Good night's sleep.
Good night's sleep for us, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Spartan Events. Sounds like a fantastic concept. Getting muddy, getting dirty, bit of pain, some camaraderie, teamwork. Is that what it's all about?
So about 4 years ago, we both competed in an event in the States called the Death Race, and it was a very challenging and very difficult event, but the sense of accomplishment afterwards was incredible, and Salika had never done a race before.
For me, the Death Race was the first competitive event of my life, so I had never done a triathlon or a marathon, anything like that. I was quite athletic. I played various sports, but the Death Race, which was a 48-hour endurance sort of SAS military challenge, was my introduction into the world of competitive sports, and I became addicted to it instantly. And Richard and I, after completing it, he won it in 2009 with a U.S. Marine, and I came in third in the winter one. So after doing something like that, your sense of accomplishment is quite remarkable. And for myself, being new to this, I wanted to create a new sport that was a lot more accessible to the general public, where your sister, your mother, your father and son could do it. And you know, obviously the Death Race is a very, very difficult challenge, and 99% of the public may never even consider doing it. But what if we create different distances that you can, you know, eventually maybe work your way up to the Death Race, and if you didn't want to, you could still just develop your own sort of challenge.
So when we were researching, we looked at the very successful sport of triathlon, and the way that they have a great sense progression. So right at one end of the spectrum, you've got, you know, triple Ironmans, Deca Ironmans, things like that, and at the beginning you've got sprint triathlons, Olympic, things like that, and we really like the model of how it gives you the ability to progress, and you don't have to go for the ultimate goal straight away. And we use that model, and we've got a 5 kilometre, a 12 kilometre, a 25 kilometre race, and we've got a 50 kilometre as well.
So talk about jumping in at the deep end, Salika. You know, I know the first race I'm going to do is called the Death Race. It might well be my last. So you two are an item. You're a couple. You're married.
We are not
so
yet.
did you? You met at a race, didn't you? Was it before the Death Race that you'd met?
Well, actually, we met shortly before the Death Race. We'd been dating for about 6 months, and a few months in, we decided we'd go hiking together on the Appalachian Trail to get to know each other. So we thought that was a great idea, and we went off on a 6-month journey. But it ended up being cut short. We were about 3 months in, and that's when we ended up in the small town of Pittsfield, Vermont, where we met Joe DeSena, who's the founder of the Death Race. We did the race. We started brainstorming the concept of you know, the Spartan race, developed marketing, the branding with him, and then in 2010 we launched 4 events, and you know, it just blew from there. So 4 events, about 5,000 participants year 1. Year 2 we're at 22 events with 250,000 participants. We just completed the 3rd year with almost 750,000 participants.
And we're on target for 1.5 million participants this year.
So it's mega growth.
Now, there's an interesting statistic that I've just learned, is that you've got an extremely high proportion of female contestants, haven't you, amongst that 1.5 million that you're going to get this year, and probably higher. I've never heard of a figure like that before in endurance sport. So just tell me a little bit more.
Sure. Well, it's very exciting because when we first created the Spartan Race, I was the only woman on the team. So it was really important for me to create an event that would be accessible to both men and women, something where it wasn't too, you know, macho. And I think by having a kids race, by having the different distances, you know, women who have maybe never considered doing something like this will go, well, I can walk a 5K, and maybe I'll do this. This is different. We've had, you know, prenatal running. We've had women who have had very, you know, good physical backgrounds running the event up to 7 months pregnant. Obviously, you know, when a woman reaches out to us and asks, can I run pregnant, we make sure that they've had, you know, feedback from their doctors and physicians ahead of time. But we're seeing new trends in prenatal running, postnatal running, you know, and because Spartan Race is more about building community than just a one-day event. When you join our event, you're meeting new friends. We've had people get married. We've had, you know, family reunions. So it's not just a one-day event and then you forget about about it, afterwards, people tend to join our Facebook community and start sharing nutrition tips, training tips. We've seen people who have met at the race and start training together in the local city, and it's remarkable. We're very excited by this.
It's very much a lifestyle brand, and everything we do, we're incredibly committed. We've got a workout of the day that we've got over 500,000 people following. We've got a food of the day, and we have about 5 million people a month on our Facebook page. So they love the content that we're producing, the commitment we're showing to fitness, healthy lifestyle, and we've got such a broad background of competitors. We've got mountain bikers, triathletes, runners, ultra distance runners, and they're always looking for a new challenge. So we're willing to provide that and change the course and make it exciting and make a difference. So.
Okay, so in the UK this year you've got 8 events, is that right?
Yeah.
So do they run throughout the year, or is it primarily a winter, or is it primarily a summer-based type of thing?
It's a summer-based thing. So our season starts on August 25th, and it runs all the way through to November 1st. So
you've got one up near me, haven't you, this year in Yorkshire? Is that the first time you've run it there?
We're going back to Yorkshire for the second time. It's in Ripon. It proved a great course this year. There's lots of mud, incredible hills, and definitely the Northerners love it. So.
Do you find that you've created a course? Obviously, you've got these images of people getting muddy and finishing exhausted, and but in each other's arms, helping each other across the line. Do you find that the harder you make the courses, the more that people ask for them to be harder?
Absolutely. Yeah, we were just talking about that the other night. We said the more pain that we give, the more popular this is getting, and the more people are excited to see what's going to happen next year. And I mean, something that we wanted to do was make sure that the course was never made public ahead of time, and that was very much a metaphor for life. If you think about it, when you're born, no one gives you the map to your life, no one tells you the challenges, and those who are resourceful, who adapt, who have a good sense of humor, make it out quite all right. So we never reveal the course ahead of time, and that unpredictability is quite exciting for our community.
I say that's the big difference between other sports like marathons, triathlons, is the complete unpredictability of it. Every race we sometimes throw in a wild card. We add new obstacles people have never seen before. So they've been training for these aspects that like rope climbs and conga nets and stuff, and then we throw something in that's just they've never experienced before. So
I can just see that messing with the head of plenty of triathletes, because they're so sort of controlling and want to know everything about what they're going to do in advance, so they probably couldn't cope with the I don't know where I'm going.
And absolutely, I mean, Richard had done, an Ironman, and his background too was in triathlons, and I have yet to do one, but I'm starting to train for it, so I'm really excited. But having friends that have done triathlons, they did say, for me, I know how to train, I know my pacing, and when they did a Spartan race, they said it threw me off. It was actually frustrating, but also very exciting, because, you almost, you have your routine, and then we throw all these different challenges that even break up your pace. So just as you think you've gotten it, we just throw that obstacle that just throws you off, and it's really fun.
So you guys look after the Canada side, but there's a big American section as well, isn't it, that's quite thriving?
Yeah, we've got an American team that's quite large. We do Canada, we do UK, and we're looking to expand a bit more. So this year we're in 7 countries, and the goal is for by next year to be in 22 countries. So
okay. Any thoughts about having a worldwide event, championship, pitching the different countries and having everybody racing national colours?
We've got it in the diary. This year it's going to be in Vermont. We've got competitors from all over the world. In fact, our UK winner this year is being flown out on us to compete in the World Championships. We've got a $500,000 purse this year for our World Championships, and next year it's going to be held in Sparta. So we're going back to the inspiration of going back to Greece. So
and I see, Salika, that you're wearing some Vibrams there, and they're branded as a lifestyle type of product, aren't they? Do you find that some of these companies are now approaching you saying there's a synergy between what you're trying to do and what we're trying to do?
Absolutely. I mean, we're getting approached all the time by different sports brands, and for us, I mean, our priority is really about delivering something to our community that will be suitable for their experience and training. Right now, I'm testing out the Vibrams. They're quite new, but I mean, something like this, I mean, the grip is excellent for the slip ramp that we have near the finish, so I'm testing it on our obstacle course coming up soon, and see how they put up with the terrain and the obstacles.
A new and exciting development in the last month month or so has been the introduction of Reebok. So Reebok's committed to a 3-year deal, and they're very prevalent in the CrossFit community.
Yeah.
So it's a good synergy. Our goal when we created Spartan was to find the fittest man on the planet, and
woman.
Man and women on the planet. We have this conversation quite a lot where who is the fittest person? You know, one end of the spectrum you've got weightlifters who are obviously incredibly strong, but you've got people like Mo Farah at the other end of the spectrum. And if to find a challenge where they can both compete on an equal playing field is very difficult. So we obviously have an aerobic component to our races, the running, but having some physical challenges like the rope climbs, the weight drags, the lifts. We've got an Atlas lift like from World's Strongest Man. We've got cargo nets, tunnels, mud sections, and really getting people out of their comfort zone and trying something new. So.
Yeah, we get inspiration from all different sports. You know, he has some gymnastics background, as did I. So we put in balance beams or rolling logs, and the rings this year and things like that. So it's really a perfect cross-training experience. And on top of what you were saying about Reebok, they're actually working right now with one of our top athletes, Hobie Call, in America, to design a specific running shoe for the sport of obstacle running. So in the next, I'd say by August or probably fall, we'll have a Reebok-specific sort of Spartan race shoe.
And it's interesting what you say there, because of course that's how Ironman started, wasn't it? It was drunken military guys arguing about where the swimmers were fitter than cyclists were fitter than runners. So let's have a competition and find out, and it's grown into a huge global brand, which is what seems to be happening with your company. Maybe sounds for I saw some figures for the size of the American company. You seem to be almost on a par with WTC now.
Yeah, we're I think we've overtaken them, so we're happy about that. But we don't see ourselves as a competitor. Our goal is to rip people from their couches, get them fit, get them active, and just get them excited about whether it be doing a triathlon or a Spartan race. But from the research that we've done about the people participating in our events, they're not just doing obstacle races. They're doing running races. They're doing cycling events, triathlons, and things like that. And what's great for us is we're seeing a good percentage of people doing our first time sprint race, our 5K, and actually that being their first event of a competitive event of any type.
But then we hear from them later on saying, I've built that confidence, I'm signing up for my first half marathon, my first marathon, I'm considering having a feeder event to the general public who've never considered doing any of this. It becomes more accessible. So I'd love to see in the next 5, 10, even 20 years how healthy people are going to become.
What's been great this year is we've started to see a lot more serious athletes. So for example, we mentioned Hobie Cal. He runs he ran a 104 half marathon, so some good times, and we get a lot of Olympic level athletes. We had Simon Bedard, a Canadian biathlete who's on the Olympic squad. We're getting a lot of serious runners now, and biathletes and triathletes, and we're just trying to see what this sort of lends it to.
I mean, it certainly sounds like the concept you've got is something that promotes all-round fitness, because triathletes are great for aerobic fitness, but a lot of them are maybe lacking the strength. They're probably a little stronger than pure runners, but not the same as the cross-country skiers, perhaps. They don't have the same agility as team sports players. But it's about an all-round fitness, and hey, look, most of us aren't doing this to earn a living from the sport. We're doing it to keep fit and have some fun, aren't we? So you've definitely got that concept, it sounds. Yep. Are you still competing yourselves?
Absolutely. Well, I've done about 9 of our own events within America, UK, and Canada.
Really?
And we're going to be doing the London Marathon as well. So we're always keeping fit, and we train regularly. I mean, he's ex-Marine, so being a girlfriend of an ex-Marine, the way he trains me is quite intense. So when we go running, it's just not running. We're doing push-offs off of the ground, and pull-ups on scaffolding and whatnot. So it's always exciting.
You got to run hard to keep up with the Marines, haven't you?
I told him, I was like, I'm always trying to keep up with you, but it's fun. It's good fun.
At least the thing is with the British Marines, they don't go around going hoo-ha everywhere.
Yeah, the Americans are like, ooh-ah. They're very proud.
Great. Well, listen, guys, thanks very much for joining us today. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show, and maybe we'll catch you at some of your events.
Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.